Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back into another video. Today's video, I'm here to talk about this skin and what it represents, because that's what I mean by the best skin ever. It's not the skin itself that, you know, kind of gives the vibe of like, oh my god, it's the best skin ever. No. In reality, it's what it represents, and I feel like a lot of people are missing on that. I myself included, I failed at understanding that from the start. Once I saw the skin and I noticed that it didn't have its own voice pack or any crazy VFX or anything of the sort, I thought this skin is garbage. But what I failed to understand is what Thunderbrush went and said on Twitter and explained really well, which is this skin, if it works, if people enjoy the skin and they acquire the skin, which will be, I believe, 400 direct purchase, 400 crystals direct purchase, and I'm not entirely sure if it will go into the gold chest or the diamond chest, honestly, but if it ends up going into that chest and also the direct purchase and it actually works, that's amazing. You might be thinking, why? Kreepers is just a goddamn almost recolor. First of all, it's not really a recolor. They did put some great effort into creating the skin. But here's the thing. The problem is we got used to a different type of skin. So once we see this, we're like, what the hell is this skin? Right? It has no voice packs, no extra crazy effects. No different sounds, no nothing. Why is it so bad? Let me explain. Back in the day, we used to have these skins already, and people just failed to understand that.
Maeve.
This is a perfect example. Alley Cat Maeve is the exact same thing as that Vatu skin, but everyone likes Alley Cat. Now, it does have a different trail of her weapons, which is pink instead of the normal one. Okay, sure. But I mean, the daggers are pretty standard. Like they're pretty standard related to the fault, right? I believe that it has a little paw symbol in there. That's mainly the biggest difference, for example, for the weapon. But the skin itself, like it's a tiny bit different, similar to the Havatu skin, right? And it has the exact same voice lines as default Maeve. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. That's not the only skin we had of this style. We had Barrack as well, for example, with Stone Cut, which I believe it's here. This is a complete, a complete visual skin, but then in voice pack is the exact default. Then we also have, for example, Evie with her black eyes skin, right? It doesn't even have a weapon. This is even worse. This one doesn't even have a weapon. And now, you're probably thinking, okay, Kreepers, but like we got used to the new, very creative and with voice pack skins, etc. Listen, the thing is, if this skin works, what it represents, it's more than anyone has ever stopped to think about. If that skin works, they'll be able to do the exact same thing with every champion they want. Because that's the problem. Them creating those crazy good skins, like for example this skin,
Let's go get Sunday.
it takes a lot of working to do this. Not just that, but they gotta spend money on voice actors. They gotta spend a ton of times doing VFX and so on. They have to write the entire voice pack, by the way. It's not just like, hey, hire a voice actor and you got it. No, it requires a lot more than that, right? You gotta create a whole full typing it down, a whole voice pack, just writing it all down, making sure that it all makes sense, making sure that it all relates to this personality of the skin, and not to mention all the video effects, first person view, third person, etc, etc. That is a ton of work, right? And like we're always complaining, hey, what about, for example, Jogos? It hasn't had a skin in such a long time. I think the last skin I got, it was actually this one, surprisingly enough. Right? So when are we getting a skin for him? Or a skin for Evie? Or a skin for Barrack? The thing is, if that skin works, we're going to be able to have a ton of those skins, because that skin is a lot less work than the original one. And here's the thing. The AOC is already working with Evil Mojo to try to release voice packs in order to us to use them in different skins. So you're ready to see where this is going, right? So if that works, I'm going to be able to use, for example, let's say the Rave Mave together with this skin, the voice pack. We're not going to have pieces, the piece and part system. Okay, but this by itself, if we end up getting that voice pack change, that's amazing. These skins will have a lot more value, even if they are so cheap, right? For example, I don't know what the price is. I believe it was 250, 200 for this skin right here. And yes, some people are gonna be like, oh, but like 400 is not that, right? If we're going for that, then they should make it 250, 200. Yeah, but the problem is back then, Hi-Rez had an issue. They were giving too much for free. Too much. All right, I'm sorry to say, this is a free-to-play game, and it shouldn't have everything for free. It shouldn't give you crystals every single day you log in, or thousands of crystals per patch. It shouldn't work like that, because if they do that, then how are they going to make money to reinvest into skins? They can do the high quality skins for 2, 3, 4 champions, and then every patch we got 1 or maybe 2 of those rare skins, like the Vatu skin, right? So you're understanding what I'm saying.
Vatu.
This skin represents way more than what you might think. Because if this skin works, we have the possibility to have skins of this quality, which, by the way, visually, it is very awesome. I love it. And if we end up having the change of being able to, use different voice packs with different skins, then even better. That's crazy. So, right now, this is what I wanted to talk about. It's not a gameplay video. It's nothing crazy. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this because I want to ask you one thing. Do you agree that Hi-Rez should allow us to use different voice packs with different skins? If so, then I'm going to continue to push this with Hi-Rez to see if they will allow us to do that, right? Because it may actually represent a lot for them as well, because they probably didn't stop to think that. Like, I might want this skin with the Mayhem voice pack, right? And that means that now I'm interested in buying 2 skins, right? And then I can mix it and match it up with maybe this, having these daggers, because they have some crazy good effects. Then I got the voice pack of the Mayhem. I can do some crazy combos with this, and that incentivates me to buy multiple skins and not just one, right? Even if one of them is extremely cheap, it doesn't matter, right? So that is what I wanted to bring up with this video. I hope you guys understand, and I hope that you guys also find a little bit of time just to comprehend what I'm saying. Because if you're going to continue with the idea of, oh, but I want new voice packs, understand that the skins are still going to be very slowly coming into the game. All right, for as much as you guys might complain, Hi-Rez only cares about skins, they don't do as many skins as certain other games do. All right, unfortunately, we don't have a massive team like, for example, Blizzard or Activisions and etc. Okay, like, it's not that big of a team. So what they're already doing for the low amount of devs they have on the art department is actually amazing. In that they actually managed to pull out this skin to look as stunning as it looks like, right? It's actually amazing for me. I initially I was like, oh, but they failed because I wanted the voice pack. I was probably just thinking the same way you probably did. But after understanding Thunderbrush's point, it makes a ton of sense. And since we're on this subject, there's also one more thing that Thunderbrush did mention, which was the entire Echo skins becoming their own separate champions. I don't know if you guys already seen that. I kind of actually like the idea, because that's also another way to have new champions into the game that are a lot easier to put into the game, a lot less buggy, and simple to understand as well. Because it's not the same champion, don't get it wrong, okay, please. By all means, it has nothing to do with that. But for example, we got the Salt IO, right? The idea would be for Salt to become her own unique champion, but having a complete different kit. She would share some similarities like animations. Obviously, the voice pack would remain the same, and the model would be very close to IO. And, she could become, for example, a damage. They could do an entire complete separate set of abilities and put this new character into damage. This means that we can have new characters, including most of, obviously, the echoes. Like, for example, Mei Zen, that is a new echo, right? They could literally bring a new Swords champion into the game. You see what I'm saying, right? So, while some people might accuse Hi-Rez of being lazy, this is actually their very interesting and creative way of making more without having to waste and spend so much, okay? I agree with this. I agree with both the skins, the rare skins coming into the game again, okay? Because this is not a new concept. This has existed for a ton of time. They just decided to invest mostly on the high quality, expensive skins, right? But they lost a little bit of essence with that time. This way we'll be able to have skins into multiple more champions, not just one or two, maybe champions you don't even like, right? Some people probably are not going to like this next event pass. Some people don't like Leon or Tiberius, right? There's a lot of people who are just like support mains or maybe tank mains. They literally could care less about that. In fact, one of the things that I always enjoyed about battle passes was the fact that they would initially try to put a skin for one of each class champion. So one tank, one support, one flank, and one damage, right? That was actually interesting. And unfortunately, due to making the event pass a little bit less grindy, smaller, and also a bit cheaper, but still making it interesting for people with recolors and everything, because people like to have different variants of the skins, it ended up losing a little bit of that essence. But with the rare skins, that all changes. Not just that, but Echo Champions actually existing is also very interesting. So I want to know what your take on these both two subjects that I just mentioned. By all means, please. And I want to grab all that feedback, grab the best of it, just make it a sum up of all of it, and send it over to Hi-Rez. All right, up until now, I was actually not planning on coming back to the UC next year, just because I unfortunately didn't have a lot of time this year. But in reality, I just managed my time poorly. So I think that I'm starting to get back into the pace. You guys have been seeing how much more uploads I've been doing. So I want to continue on the AOC actually. Next year, if I have the chance, and if the AOC still exists, I will try to get into the AOC again. Obviously, that will only happen if you guys trust me, and I hope I am doing a far enough good job as you guys expected from me. But I want to continue to work with Hi-Rez to bring up some of these crazy ideas that actually are pretty creative. All right? I'm not saying, obviously, listen, I'm not saying that this is of the AOC. No, this was Thunderbrush and the team, both the Echo Champions and the rare skins. That's amazing. Like, I don't know how we didn't think about it, but like stuff, for example, as using multiple different voice packs in different places. Maybe having the old voice lines that were removed from console being brought back into console VGS so people can play them. Bringing back some old modes like not Siege of Ascension Speak, but Rise of Furia or maybe Payload. Try to convince them, try to show to them how much the community really wants these things. All right? I have an amazing community by my side, and even then, I still try to go outside of my own community to get as much as feedback as possible. Like just yesterday, I found a Reddit post about a problem that Cashpin did not have his buff to his movement ability, that lockout time after, right? And I saw it and I immediately sent it over to the devs, and they are going to fix it before it goes live. So that's amazing, right? Like, I went outside of my own community and I found something and I shared it with them. All right? And thank you for you guys actually finding these things and sharing them out there. All right? All I'm asking is for some extra feedback here, some faith, and some patience. Okay? Because I know the Paladins probably will not grow up to be as big as Overwatch, let's say it like that, but I still have faith in this game because I know how hard the team is working for it, and sometimes it's actually painful to see how the community, reacts or treats the devs after so much work and dedication they have into the game. In a way, I actually wish they did something like the similar thing of the open kitchen, so people could go in and see like how people work inside, and the same thing for Evil Mojo. Because you guys would be surprised of how much the developers are actually putting their dedication, love, and respect into this game, okay? I know that there's stuff like, for example, Androxus and so on being issues, but trust me, they do care for the game, all right? So thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if the video was too long for some people. You don't really have to watch it all the way till the end. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I really want to know your take on the rare skins and the Echo Champions, so go down in the comments below and spit it all out. I'm going to try to condense it as much as possible and send it over to the devs. Thanks so much for watching. That's been it for today, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.